This whole place brings back very strong feelings. Walking into the ICU or the rehab unit or something that looks familiar, walking past the garden downstairs, looking over the helipad, even the river. June 12th of 2002. I was 17 years old. My best friend Sarah and I had just gotten off our 6-hour shift at A&W. We were planning to drive to Green Bay to pick up my new car. We made it about 6 minutes out of town on a state highway when we got into a car crash. ThedaCare got there and John was my flight nurse. I was very, very pale. He didn't think I'd make it to the trauma center alive.
She was so unstable, we had no choice but to go to the operating room. When we opened her abdomen, it was a tidal wave of blood.
My injuries included a ruptured spleen, a grade 5 liver laceration, so that just continued to bleed profusely and required repeat surgeries to try to get it to stop bleeding.
She lost a tremendous amount of blood.
My trauma surgeons initially gave me less than a 1% chance of surviving. I required over 100 units of blood products during that initial first week here.
If we did not have our blood bank, the community blood bank, we wouldn't be talking about Tansy in positive terms 20 some odd years later.
I remember hearing later that Dr. Wasco had gone in for a last-ditch effort to try to control the bleeding from my liver. It was gonna potentially be like a 7-hour surgery.
You could tell that something was really going on bad. It was a white knuckler for a while.
Dr. Wasco showed up in the waiting room after like an hour, saying that he can't explain it, but the bleeding had just stopped on its own.
I pulled the plaques out and no bleeding anymore, which is amazing. That's when we thought we had a chance. And we were gonna win this. We're gonna win this, brother.
Initially, I was in a coma for those first 9 days. I think I had asked for the writing board because I wanted to know what happened. So then my parents were talking to me and I was writing. I asked where I was, where am I? And they said I was in the hospital. And I said, why? He said, you were in a car crash. And my first question was, is the car okay? My dad said, no, the car's not okay. And then I must have asked, who was I with? And he said I was with Sarah. And I asked if she was okay, and he said, no, Sarah died in the accident. And then it was just processing that as a 17-year-old. I was in the hospital for 43 days. My dad has always been a really good writer, so he's always journaled for as long as I can remember growing up, and he kept a specific journal about the car crash. Took photos of every stage of this journey, me doing things, people helping me do things, people caring for me. So I remember a lot of them, and I'm still in touch with a lot of them today. They mean the world to me. They hold such a special place in my heart. They got me through this. They were my voice when I didn't have one. They were my strength. They physically got me through this.
Tansy's injuries were suffered back in the early 2000s. I had just got done writing the state trauma plan so people would be taken to appropriate facilities when certain injuries are recognized in the field. That didn't exist in the 80s. It was you went where you went.
I've always wanted to write a book. My book is called 43 Days, talks about my crash, my recovery, and then after. I did it to honor Sarah, who died in the crash, and I did it to honor the people who saved my life, and then to help advocate for blood donation. That has become just one of the biggest things to me, is promoting and advocating for blood donating. My goal is to donate 100 units to give back for what I received.
It's one of the top 5 traumas ever. I think for all of us here, she's someone special.
Where Tansy's life has led after that is probably the greatest part of the story as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people don't go on and do the things that she has done afterwards.
Life is great. I decided to pursue a career in nursing after my experience. I married my high school sweetheart who was there with me throughout the car crash. His name's Brian, got 3 kids. I would want people to know that life can change in an instant, but hope and healing are always possible. I would tell them, hold on, even when everything feels overwhelming. Take things one breath, one step, one day at a time. Accept help when it's offered. You don't have to do this alone. And believe in the possibility of better days ahead, even if you can't see them yet. Healing takes time, but strength often shows up in the moments we least expect.